Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm sure Daisy. Thank you for watching. If you're new, if you're not, welcome back. This is my best friend Deja. Hi. And today we are just gonna be talking about friendships. So let's get it. I have notes. Don't mind Davion in the back. He's just getting it in on the game. All right. So my first thing we're gonna talk about is our friendship specifically. So we've been friends.
Since we were like 12?
Yeah, since we were like 12. We met at school, obviously, and we went to the same high school, and then we went to college together. Obviously, we're still friends. Mm-hmm. Deja's my best friend. I don't know if I said that. But why do you think that our friendship works so well?
Why? Okay, so we talked about this kind of before, but I definitely think one of the important things is just like, since you've been friends for so long, so many things tend to change about yourselves. I feel like with long-standing relationships of any kind, people tend to assume that, you know, what you start with is what you end with, like, but that's not the case at all, because we're constantly changing and evolving. So I feel like we definitely acknowledge that in our friendship a lot, and we talk about it often, and we always bring up points like just the other day, well, that might have been today, I don't know, but you were just asking me like, do I feel comfortable with the amount of time, like, you just like text me or call me, or do you feel like or do I feel like I need more space from you, or do I need more from you, like things like that, and being okay with whatever the answer is.
Right. Yeah. So. She's pregnant, by the way. I don't know. That's common knowledge, but she's pregnant. But yeah, I would say that. And for me, I feel like I'm far more needier than you are. So I think we just do a good job at finding like a middle ground. But which leads me to my next thing. I feel like we both have boundaries. I think my boundaries are. I feel like my boundaries are like. I don't know. I feel like you have more boundaries that I respect. I don't really know if I have boundaries. I'm more needy. But I just feel like I know, like if you text me 30,000, or if I text you 30,000 times, you might not respond to nothing I said, but I just don't get mad. I just want to talk to you.
And I always do them. I always listen to your voice messages. I just might not respond. Yeah. But I don't even necessarily think that's not a boundary, or maybe another way to put it is just like, what are your needs in this relationship? Yeah. Because I'm like, I feel like it's important to talk about what you need in a relationship, because it's reciprocal. It goes both ways. So definitely acknowledge that, talk about that.
Why do you think other friendships don't work as well? Not saying that other friendships are bad, but you know, like, I feel like there's no other like Deja in my life.
Yeah. Definitely not the Sade. That's a good question. Probably in part, like I was saying before, just not acknowledging that sense of change. I don't know. I think to an extent, like, in order to maintain such a long-term relationship, you have to be willing to not be selfish, because it's not always about you in that relationship. So, like, I'm trying to think of an example. I don't know, like, friendships are just like relationships. It's like some things are worth the fight and some things are not. And so you have to know, like, when to take certain things personal, or maybe not even personal, but I'm like, what's the first, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like basically like picking your battles, like when to speak up on something and when to just let it slide, because it's not that important in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. Is that a good way of saying it, you would think? Yeah. I feel like other friendships are different for me because I mean, I'm a Gemini, and I feel like I'm just like so many people in one, and a lot of people are so used to like the more outgoing me that
when I'm like, okay, just kidding, I don't want to talk for weeks now. Even though you're used to me talking to you every day. Right. Like, people just get confused about that. Or like, you know, you're a lousy friend. But I'm like,
as soon as it's space,
I'm just really being myself. You just don't know that that's who I am.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Because I'm like, I also like keep bringing this up, but with long-term friendships, like I was saying before, like once you get to a certain like level of like intimacy and comfortability with someone, you just think that you know everything about them, you assume everything about them, but that's not always the case. And I think when you get to that level where you just think it's okay to assume everything about that person, that's where you're in the wrong, and that's where you might end up losing a friend. Because I don't know, we each are our own individual person. No matter how long you've known each other, been together, you're your own person. And and when you don't acknowledge that, when you're not mindful of that, I think it's really off-putting for the other person. Because it's like you stop trying to actively put effort into a relationship. It's like you just, I don't know, it's almost like a controlling factor in a way.
And I watched this Will Smith thing with Jada, and they were talking about how they went to see someone, and they've been married for a very long time, but the lady was like, you don't even know each other yet. And I'm like, I feel like half the time I'm still learning so much about myself. So I think that, like how you were saying, you have to be okay with different changes within like your friend's personality or how they operate, because we're both 22, so I feel like we're at a very like learning point. And then like you're pregnant, so, so we're just both learning
whole dynamic,
a whole like course. We're in school now. So then why do you think it's hard to make new friends at this point, even like outside of, not saying that your pregnancy hinders it, but I just feel like you just got other shit to do besides trying to be out here making friends. But like outside of that in general, why do you think it's hard to make new friends as an adult? Or do you think it's hard?
I do think it's hard. I think, and this might be my own fault too, to an extent, but I'm like, once you, like, even though we were just talking about how like we're at a point where we're still like learning a lot about ourselves and lives, at the same time, when you have a very good understanding of yourself and what you like and what you don't like, I feel like you become more selective of the type of people you're around.
Correct.
So like if they don't fit into like a certain box, you're like, I could do without you. But then it's like also you in the middle of the night like, damn, I ain't got no friends. But I don't know. So I think that's a big thing, which I probably could work on, especially too because I'm really comfortable being by myself, so I don't have a problem being selective about the people I'm around. But at the same time, I think that's probably a very limiting way of thinking, because that's a whole learning experience in itself, is when you go outside of your comfort zone, out of your box, and you talk to people that you normally wouldn't just because. And you know, that's how like really interesting friendships arise.
I feel like in general, I feel like we're very different people. So I think for me, I know a lot of people and I make a lot of friends, but I just feel like these are not necessarily surface level, because even with these friends, maybe we will talk about like something going on in my life, but I feel like those are friends for the moment of like us being together right then. Like if something happens in my life, I don't think to reach and call these people. I'm calling you. And I think what's hard for me is just knowing how much my personality changes throughout, not necessarily a day, but like throughout a week. So it's like we might meet and we're doing some random stuff, like we're gonna go out to dinner or something, but don't expect that from me. And I feel like people just be expecting like me to just be everywhere and like doing things and like at their beck and call, and I'm like, wrong idea, buddy. Wrong idea. So that's always hard for me, because I know a few people I've stopped being friends with because they'll be just texting me like random times, like a lot throughout the day, or calling me, or like, let's hang out, let's do this. And I'm like, I do need a lot of space, contrary to what people think. I like being alone too. So yeah, I think that's my harder thing.
I have one more point too.
Yeah.
Is oh yeah. Okay, this is what I was gonna say. Is also take friendships pretty seriously too. And so I like when I meet someone that I really enjoy being around, and it's like reciprocal, all those things, healthy relationship, you know. It's like I will invest so much of my like time and energy into this person for the sake of the friendship, because I'm like, that's just the type of person that I am. And so that can be exhausting in and of itself. And then it can be exhausting when you're doing that, but with people who are only going to be there momentarily. So I'm like, really, I feel like I have to be selective about who I like invest my time around, because that's time taken away from myself at the end of the day. So how important is this relationship to me really at the end of the day?
And it's just also like exhausting, like especially because you're a more like reserved, not necessarily reserved, but like you like how you like being alone. So for you to go out of your way for somebody that's not worth it, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Yeah. And then my last thing is like, well, what do you like most about our friendship?
I don't know. We just have like, I think I like the most is that we just have a very in-depth understanding of each other and our needs. And like, I don't know, we don't, those type of things, they go unsaid. It's just known about what we need from each other. It's a level of comfort between us, because I'm like, we've experienced so much life together. So I'm like, at this rate, nothing surprises me. I'm like, and I know nothing surprises you about me either. I'm like, we can literally tell each other anything, and it's just not weird. It's not judgmental at all. Like,
it just is. Yeah. Because my last thing was like how our friendship keeps us like ambitious and driven. But I think that's one of my favorite things, because I feel like anytime we hang out, or the times when we live together, or even how, like I was saying, when I go home I want to clean my apartment because yours is so clean. I feel like I never leave you feeling drained or just like, not saying that we're just super serious, because we're not, but I feel like every time I leave you, I want to do something, whether it's like write in my journal or read a book or I don't know, like buy incense or something. Like, I always leave feeling better than when I came. So I think that's probably my favorite thing. So. Yeah. I feel that too. I feel like we on the episode of Black Love by Oprah. You ever seen that? Like, how long y'all been together? Years.
It don't even matter. I feel like this. I like the point that you made just now. I don't know why I wasn't thinking of that, but I'm like, that's probably one of the reasons I'm still friends with you today. The only reasons. No, because I'm like, you need people like that in your lives that just like have that subtle influence, because it's never forceful ever. We're never like, you need to do your dishes, you need to, it's never like that. It's just like, you see somebody doing something positive that you want to instill in your own life, and you're like, okay, take notes. So I like that. I
feel like we just make each other want to be better. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.